In the quiet, forgotten town of Eldridge, an air of perpetual twilight cloaked the streets even in the heart of summer. At the end of a long, overgrown lane stood the Ashcroft Manor, a sprawling Victorian house shrouded in myth and fear. The manor had been abandoned for decades, its windows dark and its halls silent, save for the whispers that crept out into the night. Olivia Carter, a seasoned paranormal investigator, arrived in Eldridge with a singular purpose: to uncover the truth behind the whispered legends of the Ashcroft Manor. Known for her unflinching approach and dedication to the truth, Olivia was undeterred by the warnings of the locals. They spoke of a woman with her eyes sewn shut, a ghostly figure whose presence brought madness and death. The first night, Olivia set up her equipment in the grand foyer of the manor. The walls were lined with peeling wallpaper, and the air was thick with the scent of mold and decay. A grand staircase loomed ahead, its steps creaking with age. She placed motion sensors, infrared cameras, and audio recorders around the house, every click and whir of the devices echoing through the empty halls. As darkness fell, Olivia reviewed the town's historical records. She discovered that the Ashcroft family had been prominent figures in Eldridge until their sudden disappearance in 1885. The family's matriarch, Lady Eleanor Ashcroft, was said to have gone mad after her daughter, Isabella, mysteriously vanished. Shortly after, Lady Eleanor was found dead in her bedroom, her eyes sewn shut with thick, black thread. The clock struck midnight, and Olivia's radio crackled to life with a faint, indistinct whisper. She leaned in, trying to decipher the words, but the whispering ceased as abruptly as it had begun. Undeterred, she continued her investigation, making her way to the second floor where Lady Eleanor's bedroom was located. The room was cold, a stark contrast to the warm summer night outside. An oppressive sense of dread filled the air, pressing down on Olivia like a weight. She approached the old wooden dresser, where a cracked mirror reflected her tense expression. As she scanned the room with her flashlight, a sudden chill ran down her spine. In the corner of the mirror, she saw a shadowy figure standing behind her. She spun around, but the room was empty. The figure had vanished as quickly as it had appeared. Olivia's heartbeat thundered in her ears as she took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. She set up her EVP recorder on the dresser and began asking questions, her voice steady despite the fear gnawing at her insides. "Is anyone here with me?" she asked, her words hanging in the air. The recorder remained silent for a moment before a soft, almost imperceptible whisper replied, "Leave." A shiver ran through Olivia, but she pressed on. "Why are you here? What happened to Lady Eleanor?" The whispering grew louder, more urgent. "Leave now." Eyes sewn shut, pain. Olivia's breath caught in her throat. She glanced at the mirror again, and this time the reflection showed a woman standing behind her, her eyes grotesquely sewn shut. The figure's mouth moved, but no sound came out. Olivia felt a cold hand brush her shoulder, and she stumbled back, her heart pounding. She left the bedroom and hurried down the hall, her flashlight beam dancing across the walls. The whispers followed her, growing louder and more insistent. "Leave, leave, leave." Olivia reached the staircase, but as she descended, the air grew thick and oppressive. She felt as though she was wading through water, each step a struggle, the whispers crescendoed into a cacophony, a chorus of voices crying out in anguish and terror. At the base of the stairs, Olivia saw the figure again, standing in the foyer. The woman with her eyes sewn shut reached out a hand, and Olivia felt a searing pain in her own eyes, as though needles were piercing her flesh. She screamed, stumbling back and falling to the floor. The whispers fell silent, replaced by a low, mournful wail. The figure moved closer, and Olivia could see the black threads crisscrossing the woman's eyes, the flesh raw and bleeding around the stitches. The woman's mouth opened in a silent scream, and Olivia felt a wave of cold wash over her. She scrambled to her feet and ran, her breath coming in ragged gasps. She burst through the front door and into the night, not stopping until she reached her car. As she fumbled with the keys, she glanced back at the manor. The figure stood in the doorway, watching her with those grotesquely sewn eyes.